magistrate reached a verdict. I have guilty or innocent. Spare me this mockery of justice.
Oh, boys, season 2. Tell us.
Two episodes in. It's just starting to simmer a bit. It's first episode was pretty decent, but it's gonna build up. It's weird though, because I didn't finish the comic. Like I think I was about 15 issues from the end of it, and just kind of stalled because I couldn't get a hold of the next book.
Mm-hmm.
And then like some of the revelations in season 1, I was like, did that happen? Like, are they rewriting the whole thing? Because it's a lot different,
I feel the bits that I've seen, it feels like they're rewriting a lot of it. Like this idea that the superpowers are going international, and so they're going to create a terrorist situation involving superpowers, and then the best arms dealer in America is going to be the person who actually, so it's. Yeah, I don't remember that in the original comic. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think it's got enough rewrites to keep you on your toes, because they did some weird shit with Stormfront since they did the gender change, like her relationship with Homelander and stuff that was not in the comics, just in like all new stuff to swerve you,
Well,
I'm sorry. Was there a gender change? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that.
Oh well, Homelander in the comics is a guy.
Yeah.
So they brought home. No, sorry, not Homelander. Stormfront is a guy.
Okay, all right.
So they brought Stormfront in as a girl and gave her a relationship with Homelander.
Yeah, and
that's weird and horrific, and that's it. Really causes some great scenes that you wouldn't get in comics.
Oh, I remember. I remember there was a female. He was in a relationship with the Homelander or whatever, like a Wonder Woman analog. Am I wrong about that?
Oh yeah, they still have that going too.
Okay, all right, okay.
But the Voight woman, she's like, I don't. Did she die in the comic? Like he cooks her at the end of season 1. Sorry, but maybe we won't.
Whatever. I'm sure anyone's. Not like if it's a man in the comics, so I guess there's the gender thing too. And then it doesn't die till issue 60. So yeah, I think they're just. It really sounds like they're cooking in their own direction.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Yeah, which is necessary. You can't just make fun of the X-Men every episode. Like he would have.
Man, they still do that a lot.
That's very damning of our podcast.
They actually do. They actually bring in the guy that played Iceman to be the lamplighter and just make him a fucking raging joke too in season 2 later.
Okay.
So
I guess they are making fun of X-Men.
Yeah, they're going to just continue to make fun of the X-Men.
So I got a question for you guys. Speaking of comic books, speaking of classic characters, I wanted to know, what does Spider-Man mean to you? I thought we're grown men with a podcast. It's about time that we have this important discussion.
I like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been ready. I thought about it today on my drive home.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to meditate on it. You got to decide like where you come down. And to help us with our meditation, we read, what was it? Spectacular Spider-Man 202?
204? 202?
I don't know. 202? Yeah. Who gives a fuck? It was during Maximum Carnage.
It was way fucking overpriced.
Oh, yeah.
You're right about that. Yeah, for the value of the comic.
Man, fucking $2 USD. Marvel sold me up the river for this one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So we got J.M. DeMatteis, who and art by Sal Buscema. And
Sal Buscema needs to throw himself into a fucking gutter somewhere where his artwork belongs. What a piece of shit.
I was looking at the art and I was thinking like, okay, how old is Sal Buscema? Like you don't know what a beautiful woman looks like anymore. They all look like, or you don't know like what a young woman looks like anymore. Let me be fair about that.
Yeah.
Because like each of them looks like he got his like 60-year-old wife to stand portrait for him so he could like get the lines right. Because like fucking just all the women just look really off and a little old, and it's weird, and like all the lines are weird. And just
and like, where did this take place? seems like it took place in the Matrix, where like fucking Morpheus explained to Neo like there was nothing, there was no backgrounds, there was.
Yeah, it's like a simulation
Park,
of
there's some flowers and stuff. Yeah, trees.
Oh, it's like a
I think
simulation of a park, though. It's like
barely, yeah.
Nothing.
It was like in The Sims, if you made your own park.
Yeah, everybody's fucking super. Well, I don't think anyone's phoning it in. Is what's most sad about this comic. is I think like this is a game for a couple.
Maximum effort.
Yeah, maximum carnage, maximum effort.
Yeah, maximum. Well, maybe, I guess, but yeah, what a disappointment. And like, what, like, God, like, I just, Bagley looks like a fucking all-star compared to this.
Yeah, and I think Bagley was doing some of the art and some of the issues at this time. Yeah, I think, I read this when I was a kid, and I only read the ones with Bagley art because it's the only one I could stand. Like this comics, this art's just not suited to a Maximum Carnage crossover. Like his depiction of Carnage isn't bad, but at the same time, it's
really bad.
No, I mean just the face.
It's like a grade school.
The guy I think Carnage is not too bad, but yeah, this is hack shit for sure. It's bad. I like the close-ups on Venom, like it just looks all so awkward, and like the color, the I don't know, something with the color choice, the palette just looks stupid too.
What about the Venom dialogue? How's everybody?
Oh my god!
Sweet awesome. Cakes, that's the
Cook
plan.
him.
Yeah.
Cook him. Make him suffer.
Well, it was a 14-issue crossover. Like I read it, I would say like a month ago or maybe 2 months ago. I skipped through it because I was wondering whether or not we should ever talk about Maximum Carnage on the podcast. So I was like, I'll check it out. And it like, I swear to God, it ended 3 times where like they almost beat Carnage, but then they pulled back because killing's bad. And then they did it again 3 issues later, and then 3 issues later. It should have lasted. This is like, really, this story is not that complex. They could have done it in 3 issues. Max, but like,
well, it was Peter really pussed out on cooking him.
He should have fucking, and I think this helps us get it like what Spider-Man means to us, because like, man, Spider-Man of all the characters admittedly shouldn't kill, but as a consequence, don't put him in this story.
Yeah,
don't give him the Joker, because like, well, I mean, Batman obviously doesn't kill the Joker either, but it's still really inappropriate to test those limits with this character, because he's the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky guy, right? Like he has some
you could have
troubles.
had Venom and what's her name kill him, and then just had him go, "Oh no."
That's true. Yeah, you would have had that out.
It wouldn't have weakened him any more than his normal thing weakened him.
Yeah,
I love Spider-Man. Like I gotta say, like probably more than any other hero. Like,
come
as
on,
a kid. Yeah, no, the
really?
wisecracking, like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm into that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Even I recently defended, like somebody said, like all superheroes are fascists, and I said, not Spider-Man. He's like the science police. Like he just, mad scientist gets out of control, and
you are absolutely right about that. Yeah, holy fuck. Yeah, he's definitely an exception.
Yeah, but this is like the dark, the grim dark 90s. I never read this, and I'm glad you picked it because I always wondered if I was missing out on something by not jumping into Maximum Carnage.
Right. Fucking answered. And it represents like all these old guard writers, Tom DeFalco and DeMatteis and fucking who's the David Michelin, someone else, I think Kavana or something. Anyway, these guys, it's 1993, so Image Comics has done,
yes,
right, and this is just like their response to it. It's their hand wringing. It's their like, oh my god, what about heroes, guys?
Exactly, it's image anxiety. I definitely feel that. Yeah, with my sense too.
Which is same thing. We're not going to talk about Nightfall because I don't think we're all done it, but same thing with Nightfall. Nightfall is image anxiety as well. Anyway.
Well, you know what, too? The Carnage is such a terrible character for Marvel at this time to begin with. Like, he's like thrashing around and he's like talking like as if he's horrific and evil, but he never really is. He's just ridiculous.
That's true.
I'm gonna cut out your liver. I'm a serial killer. Here comes the carnage. Here comes the blood. There's never any blood. There's never any carnage. I've never seen him cut someone's liver out. I never seen him do anything except thrash around on top of cars. I don't know if he's ever even murdered anybody. His crew, I don't know what that is. That's like a joke.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's not even marketable. Those aren't who even sold that idea? I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing, and I just think it's like a weak delivery. It was a weak character, but I mean, like, if you presented it to Maddie, like, I guess she's 8, so if she read, "I'm gonna cut out your liver," she'd be like, "Oh no,
yeah,
that's scary." Again, maybe that's what you were looking for at the time, to just like scare 8-year-olds without putting any blood in the comic. It's a piece of shit comic.
Wouldn't also a lineup of villains, like Carnage and Shriek and Hobgoblin, and I don't even know what the fuck the deal is with the doppelganger.
Okay, that's not Hobgoblin. That's like Demo Goblin.
Oh
yeah.
The fucking doppelganger. Oh, man.
The doppelganger comes from a crossover, the Infinity Crusade, which was part 3 of that clusterfuck, and was it? Maybe it was it was Infinity War. Sorry, where they had all sorts of doppelgangers of the original heroes, faced them. And for whatever reason, Spider-Man survived the crossover.
Sucks for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Surprise, your shitty-ass doppelganger survived the Infinity War no one else's did, and it just lurks around New York like an idiot fucking creature. It's not even verbal, is it?
No, it's just a friggin'...
It's got 5 arms. It's fucking horrible. He's got to web it all the time and beat the dog shit out of it.
Yeah. So anyway, and then I think Demo Goblin somehow has a relationship to that as well. Like my recollection of where these fucking creatures came from, little thin, but
honestly, as soon as you pushed off Green Goblin and decided there should be 2, 3, 4 more of them, you're a fucking stooge. Like, whoever came up with that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, the original. I guess. I think it's because the character in the comics was dead for a while, and they legitimately put away the Green Goblin for a bit. So then they so
what's the fucking problem with just resurrecting him like normal fucking bad writers do?
Well, maybe they were tired of doing it. They'd been doing it for a while, So what if some guy just found his old shit and called himself Hobgoblin? Problem solved. You still get the same image.
There's one I'll give a pass to the Hobgoblin then. A loose pass, but loose pass. You're gonna start going past that into the Demo Goblin. You just fucked up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
but this whole.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all. This whole thing is ill-conceived. So I mean, it's fun to zoom in on it, but
I just want to say I can't let this pass. But James, when you're talking about just the the ridiculousness of Carnage, I just love his trash talk, his boring old man trash talk. Even when he says when he's confronting Venom and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get rid of you. You're out of the family. What, with sending the kids to private school and the mortgage and all? We just can't afford you anymore."
Yeah, that it's like a sarcasm?
Yeah,
it's hard. He's insulting him at as if he's at a family dinner and he's picking on one of the cousins.
I think the key to Carnage's character is found in his name. He's Cletus Cassidy. So hey, Cletus. I think if you read his dialogue like a fucking villainous yokel, with a little bit of intelligence. He's the semi-intelligent serial killer, and he's also meant to be like a dark image of Spider-Man, right? So
he's jokey at the same time.
Yeah.
Carnage is the fucking Demo Goblin of Venom.
That's true.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
Because you had Spider-Man, you pushed the envelope, you pushed it into Venom, you made a reincarnated super suit version of Spider-Man to outclass the previous version. Cool, you get a pass, same as the Hobgoblin. As soon as you transcend past that, now you're going into deep water where everything just becomes absolutely stupid.
I think this isn't me defending them, but this is me like, you know, when you're trying to reverse engineer how something stupid happened. I think that they were wondering, like, because Venom seems on the surface like an anti-Spider-Man, right? You know, like he's bigger than him, he's black, and he doesn't joke around or whatever. But they were like, I think they were thinking that, like, let's make a real anti-Spider-Man in this instance, you know? And so he's going to be thin, you know, he'll even be all red. He'll be jokey, he'll be a murderer, and he'll be Cletus Cassidy. They'll have the alliterated name.
Right.
You know, like Peter Parker.
Fair. Yeah. I guess that's fair, because Eddie Brock kind of is his own. Eddie Brock was his own person, you know? Eddie Brock's his own character. He's a separate entity. He had separate problems. Peter Parker he hates. That's kind of its own thing. But I see what you mean with the anti-Spider-Man. But the whole thing is, like, you made a character who's, like, like, the only good parts about Carnage. And I enjoy the idea of Carnage, actually, like, in my head. Like, if somebody was given creative carte blanche and a great team, you could run with that.
Me too. I really get excited about the idea of Carnage.
But I mean, like, the bottom line is, like, you're not, like, I haven't read any of the new Maximum Carnage, and I probably won't, but maybe we can sample it. I don't know. But I'm just, like, you need to murder people if you're going to make a murderer. That's the only way you're going to evoke any kind of reaction out of me, is if your murderer commits brutal murders. If you have a murderer that makes, like, uncle jokes, I'm just confused.
You'll be happy to know that Warren Ellis did a Carnage one-shot at some point. I don't even know when that would have happened, but that's probably pretty extreme.
I hope so. Well, let's check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
but
or let's
I
not,
think there's let's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Maximum Carnage, I think now the comics landscape has changed enough, and the baseline has changed enough that there's, like, once Jeff Johns is acceptable in society, fucking anything's possible. So
well, they just wrapped up a Maximum Carnage thing, didn't they?
Yeah. So I bet there's a ton of murder. I bet there's a ton of disgusting fucking metal shit in that. And you know, like, fitting for
such a villain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna circle back around to what I like about Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, okay.
What Spider-Man
the perennial
means
question
to me. Yeah. He's just a guy, I think, is the best part about Peter for me. Is, like, he's a guy that has a shitty job.
Yeah.
And he needs to just go to work to facilitate his shitty job. And he's just, like, very relatable. He's just like a normal person who just has to, you know, even the things he does as Spider-Man in the onset, and some of the early issues that we read, James, like, he was even, like, sort of using his fights, you know, to further his photography so that he could improve his status in his shitty job. That's just so relatable. He has a hard time at school. He's got a hard time with girls. He's just trying to do the right thing by his powers, but he's kind of like, he's bumbling. He's not, like, there's nothing relatable about Tony Stark.
I think you're missing something about Peter's situation. I think he doesn't have a problem with girls, and I think maybe that is actually, like, imagine he really had troubles with girls. Like, if he really was a loser, like, we wouldn't give a shit about this guy.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to read about it.
Women, they're throwing their panties at him left and right. You know,
it's
hot models.
No, yeah, I mean more like he's got normal guy problems. You know?
He's got to balance his. He's always treading water. Like, he can't do his job without, you know, like, pissing off Mary Jane and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's contrasted with Superman and Clark Kent. Like, Clark Kent more or less works for the New York Times. He's a liberal elite in his alter ego, and that's fine. But it's not the everyman. You know, like, whatever anyone would say, it's definitely not the everyman.
Superman's not the everyman. He's fucking Superman.
Yeah. So of course, in his alter ego, he's like one of the people who shapes thought around the world.
Yeah, that's boring. That he's otherworldly. He's harder to write. You know? And Peter's just not otherworldly. His money's not otherworldly. He's not Thor. He's not Captain America. He has like real world things happening around him. And and I think part of the cool thing too is that his power set's spectacular. Whatever. But it's not like over the top. Like he's got to grind to win, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a little smaller. He's still super. I wonder if maybe the distinction is just he's metropolitan. You know, he's not international. He's not, like he's a New Yorker. All of his problems are going to take place in New York, in the same way that Batman's problems are theoretically all going to take place in Gotham. But with anyone, so he operates at that. But even then, I guess the Flash and all those guys have their own fucking cities. But so maybe that distinction means nothing.
No, but it's New York, like it's New York. It actually is, and there's a real sense of place, in his world. That makes a difference, I think.
Yeah. I also like that. Chris, you had already said this. I like that he's a smart fella. That's always appealed to me. Like whatever his, he's a smart alecky jokester, but at the same time, like, yeah, and this is actually something, he doesn't have problems in school. So take that off the list of problems that he has, but he just fucking, he made his own web shooters and stuff like that. And like, he solves problems in order to beat villains. And you don't often see that. And so like James says, he has to grind, and what's wrong with this story, there's so many fucking things wrong with Maximum Carnage, but like, he's not solving any problems, like he's just like, actually the story posits that the solution to his problem is America.
Yes. That's you.
That's right. No, it's not murder. It's just like, if he could just breathe and think, the answer would come to him. And fucking Sal Buscema's stupid looking cap shows up
with the fucking Jesus halo.
Yeah.
Just standing in the sun. Yeah. If you could, the living embody of America is going to set you straight.
Yeah. And that's neat. Like I don't quite remember how the rest of it goes. I kind of like the idea of a Maximum Carnage that truly explores that idea somehow. It doesn't though. Deathlock shows up, fucking Iron Fist shows up, just a bunch of other
Deathlock.
Yeah. People who were looking for a ratings bump showed up in this series. And anyway, but I would have liked to. I wonder what the fuck that means to them, or if it means anything. That like, this is the answer, Captain America.
It just seems like they had nothing, and following Maximum Carnage, Cloak and Dagger #1 and Morbius #1 probably came out again.
No, I don't think so. I might be wrong about that. I was gonna that Midnight Suns crossover where Morbius #1 is rebooted and all that shit. Not rebooted, but launched for the first time.
You're fired up about Jared Leto Morbius for sure.
Oh God.
Anyway, I think Maximum Carnage should have ended on this issue though. If it's gonna end with Captain America at the end, and then like with the understanding that
fight to you if he shows up though.
Well, with the understanding though that like this is America, you just got like rampaging, this rampaging biological entity, and everyone's just like, oh, it's fine.
What's Captain America's plan anyway? He's like, hey everyone, I have a weaker power set than all of you.
Throw my shield at you.
And I come in here and get murdered by Cletus. Good thing Cletus can't murder anybody because of the comics code.
That's perfectly safe.
Fuck.
How do we feel about Cap? How do we feel about Cap, Chris?
I hate Cap.
Why
Oh,
do you?
wow.
Why do you hate Cap?
No.
It's exactly like James just said. Like it's like a stupid power set. He's just a guy who's like strong and fast and like just like slightly better than like your average soldier. He throws a shield and he like really likes America. Like that is not appealing to me.
Yeah.
Well,
when you put it like
1950s
that.
values. Yeah. I loved in the Ultimates when like they had him like he was just like this culture shock guy, like he didn't have any modern technology and just like was looking for a record player so he could play his old records. That was fun. But yeah, for the most part, no.
Yeah. I like him as a just this indictment of America, like an ironic indictment of America. Like he's the fascist Superman wearing the American flag and got the American shield, and like just like as an image, you couldn't damn America anymore. like and I like that about him, and then you put Steve Rogers' personality in it, and you give him, like his growing up in the Great Depression and all that stuff, and fine. But I just like the idea of this guy who's maybe essentially decent is just like propagandistically the worst fucking thing that they could, and probably the most essential element of American culture, just run amok. And I'm always going to enjoy that, like the naive innocence of that whatever the fuck that is.
Well, if somebody writes that comic, I would be in. That sounds.
That
does.
I don't know. I think there's a way to write him. Like I think there's a charm about him.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. I just think that, being out of place from what sort of happened to America, versus the ideal of America. But that's an old Superman gag too, right?
Yeah.
Where like, there's a baseball, work hard with your hands, grow up on the farm, sort of, war killing very black and white bad guys. Then that's the real American dream or the real American ideal, right? And I feel like Steve kind of like is able to be teleported from that place to, and there's a way to write him where there's a charm to that, or he stands up against what's poisoning America now, and not everybody does that the right way or the same way, but the odd time you catch a little glimpse of it. I don't know. I don't know if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but I think all of what you've just described is contained within the image of what is Captain America. But like, let's put aside what he looks like, and let's put aside what he seems and what we're told that he is. What does he do? Go on.
You showed me an arc right after 9/11, actually, that dealt with what James was just talking about, where he it was kind of like, I can't remember exactly, but they were like soldiers and they were like, wanting to go after just like innocent people. And he's like, no, I'm putting a stop to this. That's not America, sort of thing. And it was interesting. I kind of like that one.
That might have been a Brubaker.
It might have been. That sounds about right.
Well, and I liked Brubaker's run, but I think that people still run away from, or they're unable, like you can't make that image. It's a propaganda image.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like he's meant to be out there battling Nazis, but you maybe only since Brubaker, like late period Brubaker, has Captain America started to like comment about American society. Well, that's not fair. You got some of that with Steve Englehart, and later on, where Nixon is actually the leader of Hydra or some shit like that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's strongly implied, and then Nixon blows his brains out. That was back before editorial really had a handle on and things. Either way though, like I just think that any story that doesn't view him as dangerous in and of himself. Like I know they always talk about like he's just hopeful, right? Like they look at him as hope, but like James said, what the fuck's he gonna do against Carnage? What's he gonna do against anything? Like I know he's supposed to be this great hero, but
yeah, and then
yeah.
you always get the exact same gag where it's just like he triumphed. It's the punch in Thanos' face all over again. It's just like any American with two hands can overcome anything. It's almost like a bullshit mythos that's still sort of chugging along. You know what I mean? And post Trump, that all just seems so fucking naive and sad.
Yeah. You know what made me grind my fucking teeth in the theater during Infinity War, whichever one it was? Did you catch that when he's able to lift Thor's hammer because he's so pure, and like so there's Captain America wielding the hammer.
Yeah. And well, the holding the and I've already commented on this. Holding the hammer of the Nazi image. Like Norse mythology. Of course, he's able to, the white Nordic Captain America is able to lift the shield. And he has like they couldn't have picked the Avengers like the three main characters: Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Any more? Again, I think it's just this ironic. It's so fucking ironic, like they're America's heroes, but they're also like. Anyway, I've already commented on Thor, but like the other guy is just part of the military-industrial complex. So you've got this propaganda guy, you've got this rich military-industrial guy, and you've got like fucking pagan Thor, and it's like we're America's heroes, and you're like, oh shit, you're America's nightmare. This is fucking terrible.
That's some good insight. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, Stark is like basically he's the war machine, basically, like designing weapon systems for And
of course they're like, they sanitize him of it. Oh, he recanted. But fuck, dude. That's anyway, so
literally his friend who he enabled with the horrific device actually is called the War Machine.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. And everyone doesn't bat an eyelash. Oh, there's a War Machine. Jesus, guys, fucking get a PR firm. Maybe we should not name ourselves like that. Call yourself the Patriot, and
actually, the Homelander's the most relevant American character in pop culture today, but
definitely.
Chris?
I don't know. You're not going to watch it anyway, right, James?
Well, I've seen bits and bobs. You
don't care about a spoiler, though, right?
No, I don't give a fuck. At
the end of season 2, he's masturbating all on top of the city.
Okay, well that's fair.
It's just a fucking awesome image. It's like what I imagine Superman would do.
If he just got a little randy one night. Yeah, I don't know.
Get angry, and fap all over the city.
He's a villain, but they're villains. They're explicitly villains. So he's doing villainous shit, and everybody likes it. Because he's dressed like the hero, and that's the appeal of the boys. It's superhero stories for people who are maybe a little sick of superhero stories.
Yeah, and that's all you need is a little twist.
You just want that little outlet, so that way you can just keep fucking watching superhero movies.
just to have a little like I just mean that that's all you need for pop anything right now, right? It's just a little twist on something.
Yeah.
The idea is clever and you run.
Yeah. James, did you comment on Cap? I forget.
Yeah. What do you mean?
About Captain America. Did you Chris said he didn't like him.
I always get excited. I love Captain America.
Right. What do you like about Captain America the most?
I don't know. I just think that I think I glazed over it. I just think that there's there's a charm to him being naive to current American events and culture. There's just
Right.
like there's a charm to thinking that there's like somebody that could actually like have American ideals but be a good person. And that's a pretty alien thing nowadays, but
yeah. Well, I'll say this, because like American listeners are probably like, fuck you.
I'm sorry, man. Like
both of us. No, it's fine. I think maybe a little qualifications in order. You know, like I think America's, it's so naturally toxic. Just like, I mean, no, maybe this isn't helping. This isn't helping at all. I don't know what I'm getting at.
Well,
I'm just like,
the old
mean well, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Ma and Pa Kent man, the farm, Steve Rogers working hard, joining the war effort, all that shit, that's dead, man. That's gone. That's never coming back.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. You don't work hard and make it. You work hard and end up working in an Amazon warehouse. It's over. Dream's over. It's a fucking
it's done.
It's a nightmare world, and that ideal is dead. So writing about it, though, is still able to draw some charm and hope. And I just feel like the character has charm and hope if it's done right. And I feel like it's had the Captain America character, story-wise, has had good hands in the pot enough times that that you've seen that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Putting aside all my criticisms, you're right. Anyway, all right.
It's heart. It's the same thing as Spider-Man. The guy runs on pure heart.
Yeah,
and there's a way to write that angle so that it's like, yeah, fuck, I root for you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, you don't see it all the time, but that's how
there's something to be said for hope and in spite of the odds against it. So yeah, I see what you're saying there.
That's a nicer conclusion than my start.
Yeah. I still like on a simple pleasure, like I like to watch Cap beat the shit out of people in the way that I like to watch Optimus Prime beat the shit out of people. Just like when some sort of blue hero comes from behind and beats the shit. That's good.
That's true.
Yeah. And speaking, I mean, just on a bigger stage, like I think like all of Canada was like waiting hopefully for America to kick Trump out of office, and we kind of got what we wanted to see there. So I mean, we're all like in some ways still hoping for that sort of thing to happen, even though the reality of like Biden isn't that exciting. It's more just a hatred of Trump. No. But
yeah, it'd be more exciting if they like ran Bezos and fucking shit out of town, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Sanders. I think like a lot of Canadians would have been super excited if Sanders was actually nominated and voted in.
Yeah, we could use some Northern European style socialism.
Yeah.
Actually, we could use some of it. Even we could use some of it.
Absolutely.
Go on. You want to depend?
I got a stern lecture the other day from an old gran about socialists.
Oh,
bad news. They are bad news. They're fucking communists, and they're like two steps away from a fucking bread line and being shot and rolled into a gutter.
Very interesting. So she collects CPP or what?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I don't know. Like she goes to her fucking doctor. That's such bullshit. I have no patience for any of that. That's just people who aren't thinking.
Yeah.
Like you mean while you enjoy everything about our socialist country and bitch about it?
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, they're communists. What? Are you?
I have people who come in and like they'll tell me about the debt clock. Somebody's like made a website of like, Canada's debt is rising, and you can go and look at it by the second. It's like, fuck off, man.
Well, fine.
Clock.
Our debt is astronomical as a consequence of this pandemic. I mean, like we're borrowing money left and right, but so is everyone else. That has nothing to do with socialism. Or I guess maybe they were talking about the debt prior.
This is prior.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, if you want to go to like, let's go right wing with this. I'll go down the right
Let's-
wing.
sure.
Fucking,
Yeah, like Captain
you know,
America. Let's do
yeah,
it.
let's go down the rhetoric conservative path here. What's the
Sure.
solution? Cut that shit out of fucking healthcare and education, like fucking geniuses. That's where
the
you get
answer-
your, that's where you get your
the
money
mark-
back.
The market is the answer. Like but that's where they stand. You know, the market is the answer. And the Fed. Well, I don't know. It's complex because, like, on the one hand, we're talking about Americans, right?
Well,
The American right. Okay, well, if we're talking about Canada too, it's ultimately about government having their hand in your life for a lot of these people. And it's got a different flavor in Canada because obviously we have a lot of socialist institutions, but they're just, they just want less taxes, more freedom, and they believe that the market can solve all problems. And if you get government involved, you know, government's not going to cure polio. They'll just produce the best iron lung you could possibly have. Is the thinking. Yeah. Anyway, that's their rhetoric, and there's intelligent people on the right. I just wish they were in power. You know, like I got no problem with conservatism. I got problems with fucking fanatics.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a matter of I don't know. I just find everybody's just like, I don't know. You get a lot of like, it's just so much fucking rhetoric-y shit, and the whole Trump thing made it worse. Like, everybody's so comfortable just spouting like blah at you, like nonsensical things. Like Jagmeet looks like a fucking commie to you. Like, you're just an idiot. You're
I think, and this is why I call racist grandpa in an effort to jar people out of, like, one, to immediately let people know where I stand regarding the man, but also to jar them out of the, like, if I use the word Trump, like, you end up in a stupid zone, and you got to break people out of that goddamn stupid zone that we've created. Because once you get into that, then you have to, like, engage with all of that rhetoric, but none of that stuff's important. It's all bullshit. And you just got to think for a minute. Oh yeah, he's just a racist grandpa, and then you can just and then you can get on with your life. You're just like, oh yeah, okay, all right. I'll just think normal about stuff.
I mean, that does help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you cut right down to it, yeah, he's just like this idiot spouting off, and like, unfortunately happens to
be incredibly powerful.
World. Yeah. Unfortunately, but
yeah, and it's just like most of the stuff just comes from the same old gag. Like, there's a reason that debt soars, and there's a reason that everybody is so financially weak during a pandemic, and that's because we decided to support the master capitalism mindset. So that in itself, I mean, like, once you start cutting your tax breaks and funding these kind of billionaires and, like, letting them run roughshod on everything, then all your money siphons in that direction, and it's just basically there's like peanuts left out in the floor, and fucking you can't scrape together enough of it to make corrections when there's an actual problem for the general populace.
It's maximum carnage, you would say.
There you go.
Well played. It came all back in a circle.
Yeah.
I wish I was fucking Cletus. I'd go to work. Get me some livers.
Put them on ice, man.
Yeah.
That's what the
Black
commies
market
do.
organ donation.
Oh, that's commie talk.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Here we go.
Watch yourself.
Socialist fucking lefties. God damn hippies.
Don't worry, man. If Carnage shows up, it's okay. All that shit shows up and deals with it.
I wish Carnage would show up. It would give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Donald 2024.
Yeah. Fuck.
I saw that as a potential thing. That's.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. I mean,
I don't think he will at that point. He'll be
He's gonna be in fucking Botswana trying to avoid jail time, Wesley Snipes style, by the end of this shit. Fucking moron.
He's gonna. I just like a lot of some people talking. He's probably gonna be preparing for like a fucking. He's just gonna become another TV personality again. Like we're never gonna see the end of this fucking guy. So.
Oh God! As long as we see the end of Kaylee and his little cronies on television on a regular basis, they'll be happy.
I thought for sure he had a good plan of like cause maximum chaos and leverage it for a pardon to be like, I'll leave the White House if peacefully if you agree not to prosecute me. But that is not the strategy. It's
not. He tried to pardon himself the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it didn't work. They said he couldn't.
Oh, jeez. That's too bad.
Fuck.
I hope that's true. That's funny. And who told him? Like, who do they, like...
Well, I'm thinking
I'm sure he could say that he pardoned himself. I fucking pardoned myself. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Tremendously
that's what he
pardoned.
tried to say.
Yeah.
Tremendous is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, probably one of his sons probably told him he could.
Dad, you...
I had seen him say that
you could pardon yourself, Dad.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Donald Trump Jr.'s head exploded on fucking live television, I'd be the happiest person. I'd love to watch him be murdered.
Okay.
Ah, yeah, now we're talking. That's commie talk.
I'll give you the commie talk warning. You're letting on, man. You're putting down don't drop the curtain. Don't drop the curtain.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.